Either you remain forever hungry and thirsty, ever losing and sorrowing, or go out wholeheartedly in search of the stage of timeless perfection, to which nothing can be added, from which nothing can be taken away.
So he's talking about either you will remain dissatisfied, yeah, that's why he said hungry and thirsty forever, or you're going to go wholeheartedly for the search for timeless perfection. And because it's either or, I say go wholeheartedly. Because if I don't realize who you are, who I truly am, I will never be, I will always remain hungry and thirsty.
The word heart, it means sincerity, earnestly, honestly, when they use the word heart. Because the heart doesn't, as far as we know our experience, the heart doesn't lie.
So the heart, we can say it's a higher intelligence.
You need an experience. You need to taste what this bliss is. Otherwise, you have to go on faith in the teacher, in the guru.
That's both are good. Once you have the experience, then the yearning and the seriousness will be stronger. Even this can be a trap. What does it mean? Let's say you don't have experience of who you are and you are seeking. And now your mind is obsessively seeking the truth. Committed, discriminating, concentrating, inquiring, being still, hearing the knowledge, reading, constantly staying around the subject, like totally going after liberation, realization, enlightenment. And then there is a direct experience of who you are. And maybe it's just a reflection, it's not even the absolute. And then this is like, and it starts to shine through. And then the mind says, that's it, I gained it. V.
Victory.
And now it shifts the attention out of habit back to the objects of the world. Why? Because what was driving the mind, the seeking, was the egoic mind, the lower mind. What was driving it was all about gaining, so it made enlightenment an object to gain, just like money, success, any fame, anything. So now that's danger, because the moment it makes a V, puts it in the resume, now it's all its direction go back outward. So now the mind is back in the dream. And all the attention goes back, and there's forgetfulness, and there can be talking about the subject, yet still being now not awake to yourself.
So that's a danger.
Yeah, I share an obstacle that can happen. So one of the things they were aware of is that constant removal, constant removal, constant removing, giving up, giving up, giving up, giving up, giving up, giving up, until there's nothing to give up, then what remains is yourself.
So that's surrendering.
Yeah, that means it nothing to do with gain. Lose everything, all your ideas, all your beliefs, all the false notion you have about yourself, and then remain as who you are. So it's not about gaining.
So
It's
there's a word.
Ramesh asked the question, he has a book. Years ago, maybe in 2000, somebody gave me to read it, so I don't remember it exactly. The book is Who Cares? You can look at the book in Who Cares? That's the title of the book. So it's a good inquiry. You can, who cares? It always would be the false I, right? So you can discriminate it. This is what I take myself to be. This is not who I really. So you can shift the attention, not give it any more power. So he says, what is more, $1 million or enlightenment? What do you want more? If you want $1 million, you can enjoy it. Yet if you want enlightenment, even if you have $1 million, who would be there to enjoy the $1 million? So if you go for enlightenment, that means you want to give up what you take yourself to be. Yes? Instead of the personality can give up things, it's here giving up the whole personality. And why not to give up everything? Absolute awareness, it is the only reality that exists. For the mind, it says, I give up everything and then I get everything. What in truth is the experience, absolute awareness, it alone exists. It's the only reality and it knows itself by itself. All the rest is a dreamlike illusion. A dreamlike illusion, it appears to be real and it's not even real and it neither exists. The more you can recognize that you are that absolute and experience it, anything other than that is irrelevant. Now, if we look at giving up, that's a more traditional word, and then more New Age we say letting go. Yeah? Who you are is absolute awareness, so it never gains anything, it never gives up anything and let go of anything. It alone exists. So giving up means when it loses the meaning because you shift the attention, you lose an interest because there's no one who can sustain anymore what apparently appears to be real. Then everything dissolves into yourself. Even all the habits that are accumulate, they are a tiny speck in eternity. They're like tiny, tiny, tiny speck. Even if it is, let's say, lifetimes, eon, it's a tiny speck in eternity, in timeless being. Tiny. So again, the more we withdraw the meaning from anything, from any thought, from any idea, from any belief, it loses the power. And the more you stay with the sense-felt experience of the sense of I amness that Nasirgadatta is talking about, you start to realize where the true power lies in. It's like all the thoughts, the ideas, they're like bloop, 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 bloop. That's it.
In it, all desires and fears are absent, not because they were given up, but because they have lost their meaning. Seekers who...
Here he said again that basically nothing was giving up. The desires and fears lost the meaning because there is not a real desire. And there is not a real fear. Fear is imaginary. Fear is always about something that is imagined that is not happening right now, right? If I'm afraid to lose something, that means it's not, I haven't lost it yet. Once I lost it, I'm not afraid to lose it.
Oh, then you're pissed you lost it.
Now I'm afraid, or now I'm judging, or have a different idea. Except it's not fear anymore, it's just a different form of negativity. And when I'm afraid I'm not going to gain something, it means I haven't gained it. A simple analogy can be, let's say I see a snake. I'm afraid that he's going to sting me. That means he hasn't stung me, right? Stung, they call it? Or how they...
Actually,
Yeah.
Huh?
pierces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sting.
Yeah, sting.
So now, I just finished thinking about it, he stung me. So now I'm not afraid that he'll sting me. Because
It's already done.
it's already done. So now I'm afraid I'm not going to get to the hospital in time. That means I'm not in the hospital. Once I get to the hospital, I'm not afraid that I'm not going to get to the hospital. I'm afraid that they're going to cut my leg. That means they haven't cut my leg. And once they cut my leg, you see, it's always moving into the future, right? So future, that means imagination. That's what future is. That means fear is imaginary. Fear is of the imagination only. So there is no real fear. Why we call it, we say the fear is real? Because it generates a bodily sensation, a physical reaction, which is experienced now as a real experience.